that was our FBI director celebrating with the US hockey team. I mean, great for the US hockey team. Why is our FBI director there? Like, what is that? So while Kash Patel could have been in the US to, investigate an incident involving a would-be assassin breaching the perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, the FBI director decided instead, I'm gonna live it up with the US men's hockey team in Milan. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had to choose between the two, I'd be partying with the US men's hockey team in Milan. I mean, what could be better? But I didn't sign up to be FBI director. He did. And by the way, that was all paid for by us, the US taxpayers. So look, this isn't the first time that Patel has used government jets for personal travel, personal use. There's gonna be a lie in the context of this story where it's like, no, it was actually for official business. We'll get to that. But some lawmakers, like Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, would like government watchdogs to look into Patel's use of taxpayer-funded resources for his own personal enjoyment and amusement. He's seemingly engaged in what amounts to irresponsible joyriding, says Senator Dick Durbin, on Justice Department and FBI operated aircraft at the expense of the American taxpayer and to the detriment of ongoing bureau operations. So Durbin's letter mentions multiple whistleblower disclosures that allege Patel's jet-setting ways are draining the FBI's pool of available pilots and planes, which is like a little bit of a problem. Like these things exist for an actual purpose, not simply to help you travel to other countries to have fun. So, a whistleblower told Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee, for instance, that FBI agents had to drive through a winter storm overnight from Quantico, Virginia to Providence, Rhode Island to process evidence at a mass shooting scene because Director Kash Patel's personal travel had left the bureau without an available plane. That sounds bad, right? Like that sounds pretty bad. I think the plane should be used for the investigations. In another account, a whistleblower told Durbin's staff that the FBI shooting reconstruction team was delayed in responding to the Utah University where conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated in September because of a pilot shortage caused by Patel's personal travel. These people look at our government and they don't see it as an opportunity to serve the people as a public servant. They just see it as like a fun game where they get to enrich themselves, use public property meant to serve the people for their own personal enjoyment. Okay, so pilots had to complete a mandatory rest period before flying the team of investigators tasked with analyzing and reconstructing shooting scenes to Utah. Who cares about investigations? Do you guys remember when Kash Patel said under oath in front of Congress that the reason why we're not hearing much about Thomas Matthew Crooks, the first would-be Trump assassin, is because there's an ongoing trial? He was shot and killed on the scene. So that's our FBI director. At Brown University, a separate whistleblower, we've got another whistleblower. A separate whistleblower alleged Patel compounded the problem by ordering the hostage rescue team, the Bureau's elite counterterrorism unit, placed on standby after a December shooting on campus, freezing aircraft for other FBI units. And the FBI, of course, is denying these allegations, denying what the whistleblowers are telling our lawmakers. For instance, you've got spokesman Brian Williamson. He called the Brown allegation false and a ridiculous story to begin with, saying the Boston field office's evidence response team arrived within 2 hours of the shooting. Is that good? I don't know. I don't know what the average time is, but I don't know if 2 hours is good. 2 hours of the shooting. He noted the case began as a state-led homicide investigation with the FBI in an assisting role. So on the Kirk allegation, which I think is an important allegation to focus on, Williamson did weigh in on that. And he said that Patel was in Washington on September 10th. and in New York the next day for September 11th commemorations, not personal travel, calling that claim even more egregious. Okay, I disagree, but I'm curious what you all think. And the thing that really got to me was the lie about his trip to Italy, because Williamson stated that Patel was apparently in Italy on official business, except Patel's schedule was released. And based on his schedule, there wasn't really much official business happening. Actually, it looks like homeboy just wanted to go to Milan and he wanted to have a good time. Actually, we have Andrew Schultz. Let's go to that, and then I'll pull up what Patel's schedule actually said. Take a look.
The Kash Patel thing is so annoying because it's just like, can you just let them have a victory? You know, the second it's so selfish. Like the second you insert yourself in the room, it becomes culture war.
Yeah.
And it's like, let America have this great victory. These guys played their asses off. It's a dream win for the men's and the women's team. If you're in the locker room drinking beers because you're a big hockey fan, it's this completely selfish endeavor that puts these guys under the microscope, right? Like instead of being somebody we could all celebrate, if they're treating Kash as if he's like one of the guys, now everybody just goes, look at these pieces, not judging Kash Patel for being there and all the things that he's been supporting. It's just like, just stay the out of it.
Just stop using public resources for your own enjoyment. You already suck at your job. Why would you compound that situation by traveling to Milan to party, and then you lie to us about why you were actually in Milan? So his schedule for Saturday lists one 20-minute briefing with the Olympic security team, along with a half-hour tour of the Joint Security Operations Center, capped by a private lunch with an unspecified guest. That's your official business? The period between 2 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. was reserved for what was listed as personal time / cultural activities, followed by a private dinner with unspecified companions, probably his girlfriend. Mr. Patel's Sunday schedule listed only 2 events: the gold medal game between United States and Canada, followed by a 7 p.m. flight back to the East Coast, a more than 4,000-mile trip that would typically cost tens of thousands of dollars. So no, he wasn't there for official business. He wanted to party with the US men's hockey team because he's not a serious person. By the way, I don't have a problem with him doing that as a private citizen, as someone who isn't the FBI director, as someone who isn't using public resources for private amusement. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is this isn't his first rodeo. This isn't the first time that Patel has done this. So what about his Scottish golfing trip? What about the overnight trip to see his girlfriend perform in Pennsylvania? He used public resources for that. Or his trips to, I don't even know what Boondoggle Ranch is. That must be a story I missed. But yeah, what about Boondoggle Ranch, bro? But according to the FBI director, directors are barred from flying commercial aircrafts because they need to have access to secure communications in the event of an emergency. Okay, that's fine. But can we just not be so generous with allowing these resources to continuously be used for Kash Patel's fun and games? Because that's what it appears like. He's been an awful FBI. I mean, do you guys remember the Brown University shooting? And how long it took to find the perpetrator? He's so bad. The only thing that gives me solace is listening to Tim Dillon make fun of him. I mean, Tim Dillon roasts the crap out of Kash Patel. It's just delicious. It's so good. And he deserves it because he's maybe the worst FBI director we've ever had. Totally incompetent, total loser, and wastes US taxpayer money. Which is relevant to keep in mind because Patel himself previously had a lot to say about former FBI Director Christopher Wray and his use of the jet. Let's take a look.
Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
Go take their money. Chris Wray doesn't need a private jet.
We're not the guys running around on private jets. And somebody maybe in Congress should ask for how many flights on a private jet Director Comey took, or my predecessor Director Wray took, and how many personal trips they took.
These people are total charlatans. Total charlatans. It's amazing. So there you have it. Kash Patel doing real important work over in Milan. You know what? Yeah, that's the ticket. Me too. Hey, Kate, I got to be out next week. I've got official TYT business to do in Milan. Okay, give me Cenk's credit card. I'll charge the flight on his card. Just pathetic.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.